I'm at 4432 Walbridge Trail in Beaver Creek, Ohio. We're doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. This is a slab, and there is a clean out in the front. It is marked. I found it with a metal detector, but I wanted to go through the rearmost stack to check as much of the interior pipe as possible. And that front clean out, it's got a sweep on it, which forces me to go in between that point and out to the street. So this way, by going through the stack in the roof, you can see here, you can see how close it is to the back of the house. This is right above the main bathroom, the two bathrooms, and probably the wall in between the two. So this will give us an opportunity to basically do all of the horizontal pipe underneath the floor, at least the main line. This does not inspect the line coming over from the kitchen or the laundry room. Those are a smaller diameter, and so we don't really have any access to those. In fact, this is probably right where this stuff comes in. You can see all the access coming into this. When it gets to the bottom, there we go, it should turn and go straight out. And so this is cast iron. The house was built in the early 60s, I believe 1963. It means it'll be cast iron under the floor, and it should switch to a 6-inch clay once it exits the house. And so cast iron is ugly. You can see it does rust, so you can never really tell, how long it's going to last. You can never really tell how thin it is unless it already has a hole in it. This looks pretty good. Looks like it's flowing free and open, at least at this time. So it does tend to wear a channel like that in it as the water builds up. There is a process called descaling that you can do that will knock off all the rust off the outside of the outer edge of the interior of the pipe. You can knock all that rust off and it'll straighten it up. But there's always a possibility that could also do damage to the pipe, so you want somebody that knows what they're doing. But this seems to be flowing. It does have some buildup, mineral buildup and stuff on the inside, but it is flowing. Another thing I want to mention is to never use wet wipes in cast iron, because it can very easily catch on the rust and cause backups. Toilet paper is probably about the only thing that should go down there, other than natural solids, due to the fact that the wet wipes don't break down. The toilet paper is designed, once wet, it disintegrates, so that it can't stop and cause a bunch of problems. Looks like there's a little bit of a belly here starting near that clean out. So we're pushing through this. Looks like we have some roots. So what we'll do is we'll try to push through this stuff and let it drain. It is a pretty common issue with clay to allow root intrusion, and there's a tree not far off the sewer line, but it is pretty common. The clay is put in 3-foot sections, so every 3 feet there is a seam. Newer pipe, there's a lot more space in between the sections, so it's not as this just gives them a lot of opportunity for root intrusion doesn't mean there's any structural issues. It does. You can see there's some more roots. So I think at the very least here, you're going to have a cleaning done. I think the further you get away from the house here, the better it'll look. The tree is pretty close up to the house. There's another little bit of roots. As of right now, it is heavy enough to where it could catch some toilet paper, or obviously, like I mentioned with the wet wipes, it could catch those and cause a backup.
They were all on the outside, so I'm going to recommend a cleaning from the front clean out. It is marked, it's been uncovered. Just looks like there's just a lot of roots in this line. So we're going to hope that we can go all the way to the main, rinse the camera off, and we'll be able to see better on the way back. But again, roots are not they are very common in this age and material of pipe. But it will be something that needs regular maintenance also. If it's done well, you can get 3 to 5 years in between cleaning. And then once you have it cleaned well with a mechanical cleaner or a high pressure jetter, then you can use, sometimes you can use a chemical you put down there once every 6 months to a year, and then have it checked every 3 to 5 maybe, or 5 years. If you're using the chemical and it burns back the roots. It's just really hard to tell how well of a job it's doing, or how good of a job it's doing, as far as without having it inspected. Usually a good cleaning every 3 to 5 years based off the grow rate of the roots can help keep these at bay. There's also an option to line the pipe, but in most cases, you still have to clean it first and then they line it, and in most cases that's just about as expensive as replacing the line. It looks like we're making a turn and dropping into the main here. Here we are. So we've made it all the way out to the main. Hope to rinse off a little bit. Looks like we can see pretty well. So about 120 feet out, I guess, to the main. We're back in the tap now. You can see there's the opening. Okay, so on the way back here, we're going to pull back, but we're going to have, it's not going to change the footage counter in the bottom left-hand corner, because I have to pull everything out onto the roof and then put it back in the reel once it's all out of the pipe. So the footage counter is gone by the rotation of the drum that this cable comes out of with the camera on the end, so it will not count in reverse. But I will mark on the report what the footage on the way out was for the roots, but I believe the whole, if you clean it from here, it's going to have to be, obviously 120 feet. Cleaning it from that front clean out, I'd say you're going to roughly need 100 feet of cable to get all the way out to the main, to make sure this is cleaned all the way out. And then you can try some periodic treatments with some chemical, like a Root X or something like that. But you do want to have it re-examined after the cleaning, and then maybe have it re-examined, say 5 years from now, just to take a look at how the roots are progressing. And again, there's the other option of, once it's cleaned, to have it lined, but that can be fairly expensive, as far as you can have a lot of cleaning done, the price it will take to line the pipe. And if you're doing it every 3 to 5 years, regular maintenance is something that needs to be done. But structurally, the line looked good. I didn't see any real structural damage. There could always be something behind the roots, although there weren't any major root balls that didn't allow my camera to go through. There are situations where you may be hiding, the larger groups of roots may be hiding something, but you can see that a little bit there at a seam. It's like every one of them come in at a seam. It usually has to do with the deterioration of the packing material they used when they installed the pipe. And then a little bit of finger roots get in. If you let them get out of hand, they can cause damage above blocking. If they get too big, they can damage the pipe, and that's why you want to make sure you're doing regular maintenance. structurally, again, I think that the line here is pretty good shape. See, you're looking for, like, I mean, those seams, you can see a little bit of the edge, but they seem pretty tight. It's not holding a bunch of water other than the spots with the roots. You can see. See, they're just small, tiny roots, nothing large diameter. But see, these are the spots that you want to make sure, you know, before they get too large and start breaking pipes. And now we got stuff all over the front of the camera. Need to try to shake this loose. And, yeah. So we saw this on the way out, but I'm going to have to kind of push all the way out again. Get that camera rinsed off here. I think there we go. Okay, there we go, we're back now. Got to try to not push forward. Make sure that lens stays clean. You can see as you're getting to the point where these very easily catch toilet paper or something like that and cause an issue, but they look to be at the seams again. Some more roots. Really, that's the only thing I've seen. I would suggest that you just have a good cleaning done. And see, that was covering about 80% of the pipe there. These are the ones you want to make sure you get rid of. And then possibly a reinspection to make sure that there's no issues behind those roots, no holes in the pipe, stuff like that. We are back in the house now. We're back in the cast iron. So everything that I could see structurally looked great. I just can't speak 100% on those couple of small spots where there were a lot of roots right up near the house. I think there was like two seams that had probably 70 to 80% coverage of the pipe area. Toilet paper and stuff there. So we are now vertical. You can tell by the bottom left hand corner. Shows how the angle that the camera is sitting. Coming up near the top. Okay. We are out. Here's the back of the house. So the line looked good structurally. I cannot tell what is behind those two major areas of roots, but all the visible spots of clay were in great shape. They were together. There were no structural issues, no bellies. The cast iron looked normal for its age, a little rusty. You can do some things to mitigate that a little bit, but like I mentioned earlier,
want to make sure you have somebody that knows what they're doing if they do want to descale the line. But it is open and flowing at the time of inspection. I would just be watching those roots. You want to get those done as soon as possible before you take occupancy, to make sure that they don't cause issue once the lines are used heavily. So that'll end the inspection at 4432 Walbridge Trail.